Alright, I think you guys can hear me whenever you pop on. This is 12 by 16 inch paper, or canvas rather. And I'm going to try something a little different. I did this background at the time of this recording last night because I had extra paint. I didn't want to waste it. So it's a mixture of a few colors, blue and green, and a very dark blue, some green, a little bit of Indian yellow, stuff like that. Then I finish it off with a little titanium white mixed in with the Indian yellow. And it gives me this kind of glow thing happening. Okay. Then I changed the orientation to see what ideas I can come up with. And I thought of one, and I just sketched it. I don't normally sketch it out, but I sketched it out today. Or yesterday, last night, because it's completely dry. Okay. Now with all of that said, I kind of want a waterfall, kind of a secluded, washed out background here. And the foreground be pretty detailed or whatever. All right, but all woods and leaves and stuff like that, trees, whatever. Okay. I did make an error. Too much of an angle on the falls, but that's okay. That can be corrected. All right, even though it's white, it's all right. It can still be brushed up a little bit. Okay. Now that I've did all of that, let's switch for a second. Over here, we have black and white. We're going to make our gray. It's got a very dark blue here. There is a name for it, but it escapes me. Purple. And we got a green. Okay. All right. So we'll be messing with that to get a nice color mix for the background here. All right. So we'll also guess I'll start with a this is a filbert. We'll play around with the filbert brush today. I'll put it down here. You'll be able to see it. So we got the filbert. All right. First of all, what I'll do is I'll take some black or white. I'll put it right in here. We need a lot more of that. Okay. All right. We're going to take a little bit of black, just a touch of black, and we're going to gray it up a little. All right. A light gray is cool. Now, with this background, okay, I think I'll add a little bit of, I'm going to add a little touch of blue to kind of give a bluish gray tinge to that. Okay. That's not bad. Something like that. All right. I'm going to need a lot more of this to cover up all of that area. So I'll just get some more, cop up some more white, get a little more black, mix it in, gray it up. Okay. And we'll get another touch of this dark blue, pop it in there. So we get this blue-gray thing happening here. I really don't want it to be too dark. It's going to darken up once you put it on the canvas anyway. I'm going to use more pure paint, maybe a little water, but no glycerin, because I want it to dry rather quickly. Hello, Kelly. Yeah, I'm actually on at somewhat of a decent time today. Surprise, surprise, right? Okay, so we'll use a little bit of this. I might darken it up a little bit. I'll add a touch of black, a little more black to kind of gray it up. I still want it a little on the gray side. So we'll mix this black in there with a filbert. Okay. I might end up putting a touch of water in this. We'll see. All right. So for right now, we'll just start sketching the background in a little bit. And I'll add what details to this as I go along. Now I know I want this to be the waterfall itself. So I'll keep that part flat and I'll still sketch in just to get rid of that white. I'll just kind of fill in where the trees are represented to be. Something like that. Oh, we'll come over here and we'll just keep playing, just like in that area. Then I'll just fill this, block it all in. I'm gonna block in where the waterfall's represented because the angle's wrong. But we can correct it. As I'm using just this kind of grayish color here. Going a little bit past the marks because of the foliage. It's gonna have some gaps and skips in it. All right. So I'll switch this back so you guys can actually see what I'm doing here. And remember, this is just all pure paint because I want it to dry. Okay, it's going a little bit past the mark. I'm just using a regular filbert, nothing special. Okay. So I'm just color painting, literally just blocking all of that in. Doesn't necessarily have to be super perfect. Coming over here on the side, scraping up some more paint here. Hopefully, you know, when you go to mixing colors like I'm doing, you mix enough to where you don't have to try to recreate the shade you have. Even though you got relatively simple palette, at least I keep mine kind of simple because I do it really for teaching purposes. You can always get it and bring it back, but try to make almost more than enough for yourself so you don't have to go through the headache of trying to remix the same color, especially if you got a hue that you like and you're fond of. Okay. All right, so we've got something like this. Let me angle that a little bit better. All right, so you guys can see everything. All right. Oh, let me do something else here. Let's go to live chat. All right, I think I got that going. All right, so we've got a little outline of trees or whatnot. Where the falls are kind of represented, what I'll do is I'll put an angle to them, kind of, sort of. I'll take a little white. I'll just come here, I'll lighten it up a bit. Okay. And the falls are represented more or less right here. Well, let's go on the inside. Let's kind of, we'll do it this way, with a slight angle and come on down like that. And we'll do the same here. Give it a little slight angle and come downward like that. Okay. Let's go into our purple for a second. I'm gonna put the purple, mix it in with the gray here. Okay. All right, I'll just mix it in with the gray a little bit there. And we'll just kind of pop that in there for the falls. And I'm just blocking in where the falls are going to be represented. And we're just blocking this in. Everything's a block in. We're at the block in stage here. Just like so. All right. Okay. So we more or less, we're more or less got our waterfall blocked in. And we're going to concentrate on this background for a bit here. Now, because I'm only working with a 12 by 16 canvas, I don't really have to use super large brushes for this. Okay, so I'll lean towards smaller brushes. So I'll sketch in. Hello, Madonna. How are you? we're gonna pop in some trees. Now I can't really, with this lens, I can't go in it's super close. This is about as close as it's gonna get. Okay. All right. Let's take some, because I kind of want it faded out in the background a little bit. Let's take a little bit of green. We'll just put the green red in here. We'll lighten it up a bit. Okay. And I'll dip in some black. We're going to just darken this mix a little bit. Keep it a little bit on the grayish side. We'll darken it up some more. And keep going until you get the hue that you're looking for. All right. And I'm still checking it out. I'm looking at the color and I'm looking at the board itself. Okay. All right. Hello, Rosemary. I see you. Okay. So we'll just come in here and we'll just make interesting little tree shapes here. And I'll just keep playing with it. It's kind of obscure. It's in the background. I don't need it to be really super bright because I want it to be more or less in the background. And I'll go a little bit over the falls there. Something like that. Okay. You want the hint of something back there. So I got the colors that I'm using, more or less, they're related to each other there. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're just going to pop in these trees. And yes, it's a little dark, a little hard to see, but it's kind of what you want. Okay. All right. And you just work with brushes conducive to the size of your painting. And I'm just kind of making representations of what the foliage, the woods would look like back there. Put a couple peaks on them there. Okay. I'm not putting any glycerin in this. It's just regular paint because I want this stuff to dry a bit. Just like so. Put it right in there. All right. We might put some more foliage in there. You want it to be mysterious. All right. All right. A few thousand BC treasure trails. And how are you? Easily a few thousand. I've been painting since 2010. It is now 2022. And because I'm an instructor, obviously I'm going to paint more than the average, painter that paints on the weekends or whenever the person has time. So, yeah, I've painted quite a few. Okay, let's take, I'm going to mix some colors here because I want to get some kind of rocky texture happening here. So I'll use a little bit of this green. We're going to make a lot of uses of the color gray. Get a little bit of white in that green, a little touch of black. Okay, and just mix it. Now we got this gray green going on here. Add a little touch of black. Keep adding your black to darken. It's gonna just get grayer and grayer. Okay, keep going. I'm gonna keep going with it until I get what I want. And if it's a little dark, we'll lighten it up a bit with just white, which will turn it lighter, but also more grayer because of the black that you're putting in there. So you got to kind of understand the colors and what it's going to do when you keep adding. And you see, I keep mixing the color here. It's just getting darker and darker into that zone of gray. All right. Okay. I can approach this a few different ways because I want the background to be a little more obscured and this would be a little detailed. I don't have to have so much super detail in here per se. So I can approach the rock texture with a blank white sheet of canvas. That's funny. So I'll use the side of the brush. All right. Sometimes people get a little nervous when they want to try something new or whatever, or try out a technique that they've never really done before. Sometimes you just, quite frankly, just have to just do it. Okay, really, just get in there and do it. I see something that I'm a little disturbed with, and I want to correct that before we go any further. Let's see something. I'm gonna take a little white. I'll just come here. I'll just mix it right here. A little more white. It's just a quick fix. 'Cause I don't like it. Small touch of blue in that. Okay. Right in here. We'll make the falls a little lower. Right about in here. And we'll just extend the tree line there. Like that. So we'll bring the falls down a little bit. Okay. All right. Once again, no water, no glycerin, just the paint itself because I want it to dry pretty fast. Well, okay, I'll get back to the side of the brush here. And I just want texture in here. So we'll do it down here. Let's see what happens. Just the side of the brush against the side. Just like so. All right. I might get a strike if you guys hear that TV. I might do what some of my contemporaries are doing, is just probably use StreamYard and put some music back there or something. But I always got to have some background music going. And what I'm doing is dry brushing some texture on this. Okay. And that's all I'm doing. Bring some of the rocky stuff into the waterfall itself. I'm not going to get rid of all the lighter gray color in there. I'm painting past some of the areas because when you paint the foliage, when you pop the foliage in, okay, some of that background of the cliffs or whatever, they're going to come through and show through that. So just think about that when you do this. And once again, it's just the side of the brush. Okay, good. As long as they don't hear too much, then they're not gonna complain. 'Cause you know, the tube gets funny nowadays. Never used to be like that, but you know, as YouTube got bigger and bigger, you know, people sometimes carelessly use copyrighted stuff, and you know, the artists, especially if your channel's doing pretty well, they're gonna want their cut, which is natural. It's all right. Now, usually I would do the waterfall first and then add the rocky stuff, but I didn't do it today. But theoretically, you would do you would do the waterfall first, then add the texture for the rocks later. But it's all right. It's okay. We can always correct that. Doesn't look like rocks now, but it'll look like something once we're done playing with it. At least one would hope, but I'm sure it will be. And as you can see, I'm not necessarily getting rid of the background color. I am only using the side of the brushes for interesting texture. And remember, I'm using a paintbrush conducive to the size of the canvas, so it's not a very large canvas. So I don't necessarily need very large brushes. Not necessarily. There'll be mist and whatnot back here, and it will look washed out. So you got to kind of see past what you're doing now. Okay. So you don't get discouraged. All right. All righty. I'm going to add a little bit of, let's add a slight tad of, actually I have to go above. When you paint a waterfall, your rocks have to be above the waterfall, of course. And basically that's what I'm doing. Okay, that's a little better. Okay, that's cool. We'll be going over that again. I'll work with the waterfall here. Let's take a we're gonna take a paintbrush that has a little more roughness to it. I'll use this. So we'll take a brush that looks like, where are we at? I'll put it against this glass. It looks like this. Actually, let's do this for a second. Okay, it looks like that. A little rough on the edge of there. You see that? You see the edges, the top there of the brush? Something like that. It makes little striations. Okay, so any brush that's been beat down for a while, you can get away with doing that. All right, let's go into our white, and we'll just use this gray. We'll mix the gray in there like that. Okay. All right. Yeah, I've experienced Facebook jail a few times, which is why I really don't do any main posts in there. Okay, as we do the water, right from the top, you establish the top. I'm gonna establish the top there, just like so. All right, and we just take it, and we'll just kind of go straight down with it. Wherever you want the mist to be, okay, we'll go straight down here. Don't cover up all your purple. It's kind of artistic thing. It's gonna go this way. All right. As you see, it's not entirely white, and I don't want it to be that way. We'll be going back over the rocks again, so don't worry about that. I just want the flow of the water, well, to look basically like the flow of water. Okay. And it looks a little weird now, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Let's go a little brighter. Not totally white yet, but a little bit brighter than what we have. And say you want like a little, you know how some bits of falls got the little bit of spray going on. So we're just gonna touch a little bit. And it's usually grouped together. Okay. So we're just relaying action here. And it's just tapping. And I'm not getting rid of that purple you see hanging around there. A lot of the mist is going to be on this side. But you'll see as I keep doing this. And once again, I'm not using any glycerin or even any water. It's just plenty of paint because I want it to dry quickly. All right, but that's the reason why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. Okay. We have still plenty of the previous color here. I'm going to go back to the flat brush, and we're going to put the rocks over some of those, over those falls. It sets the falls back. Really simple to do this. And so wherever you choose to kind of make little rocky bits like that. See this? And you come out here a little bit, bring it out, and peek one out there. Just like that, and come on this way. Okay. You can put a few on the other side if you would like. Once again, what it does is just blocking the falls a little. So we'll kind of pop something right up in there, and maybe a little dangler cliff. Not too many of them though. Something like that. Maybe that would be enough. I really don't want too much of that. Down below, we can expand the spray of the falls, and I'll just do a quick swipe there. And once again, right up over in here, we can kind of send that spray out a little bit. Maybe a few trails this way. Something like that. Okay. Well, if it's dry, we'll let this tack up and dry a little also. So as I'm looking at it, we have to let it tack up. I'll chat with you guys for a little bit, and it will tack up a bit. Let's go back to where those trees are up there, and we'll just add some texture to those. I'll get a little bit of dark. I'll go into the dark blue. We'll still use this gray. Dark blue, little slight touch of black in it. We'll lighten it up a little bit. Get a little bit of water. We'll loosen up this paint. All right. And we'll get some slight tree texture up here. And it's still pretty much close to the color of the background. And it's okay. And once again, it's conducive to the size of the of the paper you're using, or the canvas. It's a pretty small canvas. I'm not really accustomed anymore to painting on tiny canvases. But we're just getting texture of the trees. Okay. I don't necessarily have to go straight up and down. I can do one of these numbers. They don't have to be like little toy soldiers. You can make some a little crooked, actually going into the other ones. And basically you just want a little bit of texture. It's a little thicker down where the rocks are. All right, let me just get a little touch of water. I work with heavy body acrylics because it reminds me of the oil paints I used to use. I have plenty of oil paints. The reason why I don't do oil painting lessons is because I don't have anywhere to place the paintings at this time. I'm pretty sure I can build build something. Right here where the waterfall is, frame that pretty good. All right, frame the falls. Even though little tiny background details, still frame the falls because you need somewhere the water has to go. Now you're talking about physics. All right, the water has to be contained somehow, right? Then, there, and we'll continue on. As you see, when I'm editing just the texture, I'm not really getting rid of what I did in the background. You'll still see shades of that. So I'm not really blocking everything in. The tips of the trees important, especially when they're far away. Make sure you see some tops up there. Here, where the rocks are, make it a little solid so it helps frame these guys in. I don't really use too many of these tiny brushes either. I should. So this is a great lesson, for using the little tiny guys. And I'm just really dancing around with the paint. Need more water. You can tell when the paint's starting to dry up a bit. And it's a little water reactivates it, and you just go on. You still want it to be opaque enough to see your paint, especially when the colors are so close to each other. All right. The colors are all related to each other. They're, blues and purples and different values of greens. You can get green with just more than yellow and blue. Okay. There's browns that have green in it, and you can use that to your advantage. Okay. There's browns with the red in it. Sienna is a brown with red in it. The umbers and stuff are browns with green. And once again, I'm not getting rid of all that lighter green. But I still want it to look like far away forest stuff back there. I had to reposition my camera from yesterday also. It's a DSLR camera, and my particular camera that I'm using. Let's focus that a little bit better here. I can't, at least I haven't discovered, to get a continuous power to it. So it uses a battery, but the battery is kind of legendary. It lasts for hours and hours. And of course, when I'm done using one, I automatically charge it. So I got more than one battery, and I just changed it. So we should be good for the duration of this. All right, and we let this set. It's gonna get, it's starting to dry, and as you can see, it appears a little darker, but it's still back there. All right, okay. We definitely have to let that dry because I want to put some sun rays in here before we get to the leaf, the foliage part in here. Okay. So while we're waiting for this to set and dry a little bit, we'll work on a little bit of mist and things here. Oh, right. I don't think I need any more of this stuff. So we can take this stuff in. Now this is just me. If I know I'm done with a particular group of colors, I'll just get rid of it. And the next batch of colors are going to be much lighter. So I really don't need none of this contaminating what I want to use. So I'll get rid of this. And it's just nothing but a palette knife. Just scrape it away. I got a bucket right below me here. I'll just wipe off the excess on the bucket. I have a beach towel on my lap. Okay. Mist. We'll get a little bit of white here. Bring it out. Get rid of the gray. maybe a slight touch of that blue in there. Now you might figure that might be a little too blue, a little too blue for mist. Somewhat, a little bit it is, but we'll strengthen that up here. Another little scoop of white paint here. It's really fun to paint and mix paint right out of the tubes. Just keep adding white till I get what I'm looking for. And we're almost there. Just keep light, make it a little bit lighter. That might work, what I have here. And that could do. Okay, let's get we'll use one of these. I'll show you. Nothing but like an, I don't even know, a mascara brush or something. Something you get from Walmart, bro. 5 of them for $6 or something crazy. I'm not going to use any glycerin. I could get away with using water, okay, to do what I'm about to do. And I'll show you how to do that. I'll get some water. I'll just dip in here. Now, I'm using titanium white. Titanium white is very opaque, but titanium white has a little grit to them. Okay, and so it leaves a film. You follow me? This is why I wanted this to be dry. Okay, so we'll take that little bit. It's kind of saturated with water. Now, what it will do is leave little patterns. Hold on for a second, guys. I got a good buddy texting me. Hold on. All right, so let's show you here. I got this watered down titanium white and blue mix. And if I just take it and kind of stir it around like this, you see what it's doing there? You see that? What's going to happen is that is going to dry and look like that. Okay, and we can kind of put it in here and just play around with it. I'll come all in here. Especially down in here, you really want it a little more obscure, but it's going to look like mist and smoke once it dries. And you can smooth it out with your finger if you want, but there's going to be all sorts of interesting little patterns and gradations going on with this. It will look like smoke. And as I'm doing this, you see me doing this, I'm bleaching things out on purpose because you want it kind of misted out. All right, just like so. I can just take a little bit of pure white itself, a touch of water, and you just get it brighter, especially down in here. And you kind of just like that, just brighten it up here. And you can take this, and once again, just take your finger, just see, just like that. I'm going past the tree line there. You got a little window to do this blending. It will start to look like mist and smoke and stuff going up and around. And this is why come on up top here. This is why I waited a little bit. You still see little bits of background. Okay. Remember, you got a short window to do all your blending. Okay. I don't want to over blend this stuff. A little bit of love in here. Now, what I'm using, it's got water in it, but not much. I'm just doing, this is a soft bristle brush. So as you can see, I can really put extra misty things in there. You're not really getting rid of all of that texture. You see a little bit of everything going on. And just to add a little more oomph to your painting, you have it come above the trees a little bit. See? It's like that. You obscure some of the falls. Go a little bit brighter. Go right across the falls with it. Somewhere. Just go, you see? Go across your falls. All right. I can take a little tiny bit of white paint. I'm wiping a lot of it off because you're dry brushing. Now, if you use pure paint, no water, work quickly, okay? Because it will set rather fast. So we'll obscure this, just like that. And you do it in little layers at a time. Little layers. See, you obscure a little bit, see that? Okay, you still see it, but not as clear. And you want that. All right. So you got, you see this, it gets a little obscure. You see a little bit here. Let's exaggerate that point right there. So here. Just like that. Bring it out there a little bit. Especially down on the bottom, you're gonna get a lot of spray because that's wherever the rocks are down there. That's what you're looking at. So all around here, a little brighter. And it's hitting the rocks and all sorts of stuff is happening here. But now it looks a little more alive. Do it piece by piece by piece. Okay. You're gonna want this. All right. Okay. Hey, Bill. Hey, Bruce. Welcome. Okay. So we have our trees. We got a little bit of our mist thing going up above in here. Okay. We're good. We're cool. All right. Let's angle this way. So we have, we have right now this little spot in here. I have to try to get this greenish, bluish color. Got a little yellow in there. I have to try to mix the color somewhat close to this to get some rays. At least a few going through here. Not necessarily going through here, but in this area. Okay. So we'll probably get some rays going through here. Here, through here, through here. Looking at where I can position it. I don't know if I can really get away with it being this way, so it looks like it might shine through this way more. All right. So let's see what we have going on that I can try to get away with that. Let's mix a few colors here. Now I got this light blue, white. We're gonna take a slight tad of green, mix it in there, just like that. All right. We're missing one color. I got it right here. I really don't want to use this. Not this color. Where's my color I'm looking for? We'll put it right here. It's just a little bit I need. All right. A little bit of that ochre in there. As I'm looking at this, I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at this area here. All right, here we go. We can give this a try. Right here, this little area of stuff. Even though it's sun rays, they don't have to be bleach white because that's not the setting I'm giving this. Okay. Try to get away with a lighter version, somewhat, of this stuff. But I have to do it extremely light and just be careful with it. All right, we'll get some tape here. Where do I want the spot to be? That's the thing. Okay, I'll use because I don't really want a super cloudy sky, so I'll use a pencil. I'll pop in where I might want. Let's try it right around in here. If I can get it to, yeah, I see where it is. All right. So you guys might be able to see, but the dot's right there. Okay. I'll use a strip of tape. Let's see. If I can get away with it, we're about to find out. Let's put one somewhere around here. All right. Okay. We'll take a softie. We'll take this. And let's see what we got. Hopefully I don't dog it out too bad. You take a little bit of this paint, wipe a lot of it off. I know it sounds ridiculous to do that, but you'll see why. Okay, so we know the vanishing point here. We're gonna go through the tree line here, right through that. So let's very lightly just kind of back and forth. You see little shades of it. Just like so. Just back and forth. Back and forth. Very light. Like that. Don't look like much right now. Okay. But that's what it's going to look like. All right. Okay. We got another gap. We got a little gap right here. Of course, I didn't use a long enough strip of tape, but that's okay. Right in here. All right, somewhere in there. All right, let's see how much I got. We'll use some of that. Very light, right up in here somewhere, and we'll just kind of pop another one in there. They don't have to be the same size. Something like that. Okay. Let's just get a longer piece of tape. Oh, a little something right there. Okay. Very light, right about in here. All right. All right. Now we got a little bit of that. If it appears to be a little strong, we can kind of put a little circle glow in there somewhere. Very lightly. Little highlights there. We'll kind of expand that a little bit. Bring it into the sky. You still got little bits of paint still. Very lightly, kind of obscure it a little bit. And blend it into blend it in there. Okay, let's see where we're at here. Where are we at? Still strategically looking for spots to put things here. Some of these rays, we might have one right in there. I think we can get away with a couple more. A little touch of paint there, not much. So right in here, we'll kind of circle it a little bit right in here like this. Get a little bit of a glow there. And we'll come downward. You might not even see too much of this one, but it's okay. All right. Just because I'll put one right underneath that touch of fog right here. Right up underneath that fog, right up under here, and I'll have it. I'll have it expand down here on the bottom. A slight touch of white to brighten it just a little bit. Very light touch. Very light, extremely light. And the paint is not solid, so it breaks it up a little bit. I just want it a little lighter here. You'll see. Yeah, that's cool. All right, something like that. So we got a little burst of stuff happening here. Yeah, we're cool. That'll work. Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's no problem. It doesn't bother me, Bruce. So it's all good. All right. So, how do you want what I just did to stand out a bit? Okay. And make it look like it's back there. Now you have to, this is where composition comes in, even including with the glow. All right. So our surrounding shrubbery woods thing that's going to be going on, because none of the sun rays are going to go past all of that. Okay. You have to cover this dark so that looks like it's pushed further back. All right. Okay. So with that being said, let's go back to our mixing palette here. Okie dokie. So, we got all of this here, which isn't going to matter much. We'll just mix it all in. Let's go with this deep blue. Okay. I really don't want to use the purple, but we're going to use it anyway. We'll mix these two together. We'll mix it right in with that light stuff. Light stuff is going to get swallowed up anyway. Okay. Now you add in your black. Okay. Obviously, it's not enough black, but you want to do it in small doses. Trust me. adding black to a color doesn't necessarily turn it black. No, you're going to get a very dark version of what you're trying to achieve. And I'll be mixing plenty of this anyway. I'm going to need to. Okay. So I'm going to need much more than this. Okay. More black in it. Keep mixing it till you get that darkness you're looking for. You want it dark, but you don't want it jet black. All right. It will appear to be just about like that anyway when you're done. And it's all said and done. And I think that's cool. It's a weird mixture of a greenish blue. Okay. I like that. I like the way it looks there. I'm just getting the rest off of my knife. I like that. It's pretty neat. Not enough, but it's a good start. Okay. Now I'm showing you, this and how to do it. Flip that back. All right. So we'll keep it here. We want it to be fairly deep in here. We're going to get it a little lighter as we go towards the edge, but it'll be a little more detailed with the leaves and such. All right. Okay. So, I know you guys see me use these all the time. Okay. And they're great for texture because we already got our color, our foundation going on here right now. But these are excellent for quickly doing shrubs, leaves, bushes, tree leaves, groups of leaves. Okay, there's different types, different textures. This is my favorite. All right, I love this particular sponge. I got quite a few of them, Okay, you can do this dry with a sponge dry like this, or you can do it wet. Up to you. Okay, all right. So I want texture, and I want the look of the bushes. And like I say, we're going to do different variations, different hues of this color, and we may even go darker. We'll see. Like I say, I didn't mix enough of this, but that's all right. It's a good start. All right, we'll come down below here. Okay. What I'll do is I'll just raise this up a little bit so you guys can really see what the heck I'm doing. And what the heck I'm doing too, because I don't really see it. I have a large clock blocking some of the screen on the bottom, so I really don't see it. Okay, now remember, this mist is covering over some of the foliage, because some of the foliage is supposed to envelop and cover all of this. You got me? So I'll just take what I got here while it's fresh and it's pretty cool. And we'll just cover over what it's meant to be covered over, like this. Okay. And we'll just try to make it look as somewhat natural as possible. And the important thing is to get some of those leaves up in there. Get those patterns in there. Don't be afraid to really use this stuff. All right. Now you can see already what's going on. Now remember, you have to kind of picture this in your mind's eye already for it to work. You follow me? You don't want to cover up every inch of whatever, but just enough to have it look like, trees or bushes or what have you. Now, like I said, I did not mix enough of that, but we can, because once again, it's not the most complicated color palette on the planet. Okay. I made this odd greenish black without necessarily using green, but we will. I know I lightened it up a little bit to get that blue coming out a little. the method that I use in in a lot of my paintings is a specific method, a specific way. Bring it. Well, yeah, we'll just keep it. Where am I at? No, we'll keep it up here so I can cover some of this. And basically, I'm covering up that little bit of white that's there. Just like they cover the white, you just cover up. It's all right. All right, I'll just block in a lot of that. It's really texture that I'm looking for right now in that. Let's go over here on the other side, and we'll do the same thing here. And this is what you're looking for. It's not the most difficult thing in the world to do. I think I can pull. Can I pull back? Yeah, I can pull back quite a bit. This lens allows me to pull back. So let's pull back a little more so you guys can see exactly what's happening here. All right, I think that's good. And I think we're in focus. And then we'll just see. When it's up toward the sky, you don't really want to get rid of some of that bright. Let it peek through. It's all right. Down below, you know, is you know, you just have at it down here. It's supposed to be swallowed up and pretty dark anyway. And I really don't want none of the sun rays or the rays coming through the dark foliage. It's not needed. It's not what I want. Don't do it, because I want to contain all of that joy in there, which is why everything's kind of washed out and misted on this. Okay. All right, I think we're cool here. I think we're good. Okay, just clean off the sponge. Now I can add a wee bit of love. No, guys, that's not Bruce. I have I got three. I got 2 phones and a tablet by my side. You guys don't see them obviously, but they're around. They're surrounding me here. All right. We can use still the, well, I'm gonna use the sponge anyway because I like the way it looks. Let's mix. We'll still utilize this. Let's mix some of this. All right, put it right there. I can use really this right out of the tube right now. I don't have to add anything to it. One, it's lighter than what you see there, and I really don't want it to be extremely too bright, because if you do it that way, it's going to take away from this, and that's not what you want. All right. We'll use the same. We use the same sponge. Now, obviously, it's wet. You can kind of mold it and fold it and bend it to whatever you want. Okay, up to you how you want to do that. We'll just use the natural green itself. And with the natural green, we're just going to come just inside. Boom. Okay, just inside in little patches there. And you can see little bits of that lighter green in there. All right, you just see it. Okay. I don't want to get rid of a lot of that darker stuff. So you're using this color. You know, it's like you're using like you're texturing a rock. All right, you use your dark, then your medium, and then your light for the highlights. Where essentially we're doing the same thing. It's just not using gray, you're using green, a lighter green. All right, but it's not so light that it's, once again, it's going to overshadow what you're doing in here. All right, once again, you just barely see what's happening, but you see it nonetheless. And that's basically what I'm doing right now. Okay, matter of fact, I'll take this green, I'll just dip it right in, sponge right in there. And you can still get away with a few bits of refracted light in there without, once again, totally taking away from the fog here. Because as dark as this green is, it's still lighter than what you've previously put down. All right. And yet every color you see is related to each other. All right. So it's pretty cool how you can manipulate and all of that. Okay, we're almost done. We're getting there. We're getting there. No, Bruce, even though I don't have a ton of friends, but I'm not that lonely, I don't name the sponges yet. No, I didn't name the sponges or the brushes. So there's still some hope for me. You've never bugged me, Bruce. No, you never bugged me. I mean, how do you not learn if you don't ask questions? You know? And if I didn't want people asking me questions, I would have never became an instructor. So, nah. Coffee break. We're going to slippery slope. I'll use a little bit of this color though. I don't want to use directly white to put in cute little details. And I don't necessarily have to use the sponge for this part. You can. I won't. All right. Now you see what this? No, you can't. It's too low. Let's aim this downward so you see what exactly I did. There we go. All right. Here's its natural color. I use yellow ochre. Now look at the color from this to this. All right. Oh, I did use the rest of this with this, and it turned it into that. All right. Okay. All right. Now, here's the fun part, sweetheart. What type of somewhat highlights you want to put on this? It's not really necessarily where, but what, you know, how strong you want it, where you want it placed. Okay. Now I can add little branches in here. I keep saying I can, I will, I shouldn't, I shall. I'll just do. How about that? Let's take some of this purple. All right, we'll put the purple right here. Take some, well, the rest of the green, we'll put it right here. So we've got purple and green here. Let me just mix it. Odd mix, right? Okay, so we got that purple. You got that green. I'm trying to see what color I got here that can accommodate that color. The only color I got right now that's available to me for a contrast or an opposite will be this, what they call it, Indian yellow. It kind of looks orange to me, so we'll do it that. It's obviously the opposite color of what you're looking at here. All right. Keep it mixing. Now what's going on with it is that it's taking that greenish tinge to it, which is fine. That's fine. Because if you come into something like that, and that's using the Indian yellow, not this stuff. All right. If you come into something like that, there's a very, very, very easy remedy to that. I guess I'll use the Chocola stuff because we're coming near the end of this. It's all good. You use the colors opposite and it'll brown it right up. All right. Red, no matter what brand you use, red is very powerful. Use a little bit at a time. Okay. And I'm going to show you what's going to happen, which is why which is why I only took a part of it. All right, but look what's happening. Look, see what's going on with it. Okay. See, look at that color. That was that until you added the red. Okay. All right. So that's what that turned into. Okay. Let's take a small flat. We'll throw in a few branches in there, but I want the branches to be relatively dark. Okay. All right. So we'll take some of this. No water, just deep brown color. And we'll throw in a branch or two like this. You may not see it too well. Okay. You're really not supposed to. All right. And we'll come here. I don't need it to glow. I don't need it to around the edge here. Some of these. Pop in a few here. You just want to, just barely see if there's really something there. You got me? We'll come here. We'll add a thicker one right here. And it just comes out here. Now, why am I doing it right on top of all of this green? Because you're going to add these slick little highlight things in here. Real slick like. And it'll obscure a few of these. You don't want to take all of it away. Let's come here. Let's go right up on the side there. Like that. And then we'll kind of add something leading to it there. I think up above, up top here, I know that you guys can't see that corner, so I'll just do it right here where you guys can see it. And we'll just go downward like that. Even though you don't see it too well, but we have, some stuff going downward. All right, enough of that. Ribs, mac and cheese, and for us, sounds like a really good meal, really. I'm having spaghetti with the homemade sauce deal. Well, spaghetti, we're going to use rigatoni for the noodles. And I like my spaghetti with sweet and medium sausages. I really don't like my sauce like runny. So, where were we? Oh, yes. That lighter green. Okay. We can use, I don't know, any brush. I'll just use this one because it looks really ragged and dogged out. Any brush that you have that, not that one. I don't know what that one does. I guess I'll find out. There. Okay, I use a brush that's really ragged and beat down. Look at that edge. See that? Okay. Those make interesting details for leaves and leaf patterns. So if you have brushes that look like this, don't get rid of them. Okay. Don't trash them. Don't kick them to the curb. They have a life left in them. You're just repurposing that. All right. Once again, for those of you who did come in, this is 12 by 16 actual canvas. I went and purchased, even though I don't really do it anymore, but I did purchase a large pad of what size are you? I forgot. 12 by 18 inch watercolor paper. And what I'll do is I'll just double it. There's 30 sheets in there, so I'll get 15 paintings out of it because I'll just glue them together. Makes them a little more stiff or whatever. Okay. All right, let's get on with this. Now, only using the tip of yonder brush, and I'll kind of really put it in the bristles there. All right, let's go up here. I don't necessarily want it at the edge per se, not too much. So we'll just do a little bit of not the whole thing. We'll just kind of tap. See this? And cute little groupings in the corner. Maybe back here. Okay. We'll have a little something coming over a couple of branches like this. I gotta slow it down because I tend to go a little fast when I do these. I'm flipping the brush over, and once again, just see a nice little grouping of right in there, and you can really make a nice little path of the shadow color. I'm gonna get a little more paint. I don't want to press too hard with these because I want to see patterns, details like that. Come in here a little bit, right where those bushes are, where the some of the limbs are. We're gonna cover in some of those limbs in there like that. Turn the brush over, get a nice little grouping, and then kind of narrow it off in spots. Get some more of this green. So I think you guys can see that. But as you're looking at me do this, okay, just come down here like that. And then we'll kind of fade it out. I'm gonna go into a little bit of water, just a little touch of water, just to wet what I have up, but not too much. Right where you see some of these branches, we'll add some love here. I'm gonna go very delicate there. We'll pop a couple here, just like that. Come down. Maybe a few in the corner. Come out here. But you can see the pressing that I'm doing. I'll turn the brush over because I know we have a little more there. Get interesting little groupings coming down. All right, and just stop and look at the whole thing. All right, make sure everything's cool. Oh, we'll come up here for a second, and we'll bring some of that downward. And we'll pop a couple in there. I'll keep the yellow over here, and we'll stir it in there. All right. A small touch of white. We'll brighten up a little bit. A little touch of bluish in there. Yeah, that'll work. Want it brighter, but I don't want it super bright. All right. Get some interesting patterns, group them in a spot, and then trail off. Whatever. Whatever direction you're looking for, whatever direction you want. Okay, now I'm adding all those little details. Let's fix the camera. Like I said, I don't want it super bright because I want this to be pretty much the attention here. Okay. Oh, a little bit of love right in here, a little bit. Not too much. Right on its edge. We could probably come over here and straighten up a few things here. All right. All right. Like I said, I don't want anything really to get rid of this. This is the piece I want really seen. This is just the covering. This is just a frame for that. It's just your frame now. It's just leaves, okay, and branches and such. I tell you, the air fryer is mother's milk. I tell you what, it really helps out in a pinch, and you know, it really it's good. One of the inventions I truly think really helps us out. Gives me a little hope that human beings still have a workable brain. The air fryer is awesome. All right, I'm trying to think of what else. I don't think I really need to add anything else to this. Hopefully, you got what I was trying to do and explain. Hopefully, I did it and you guys understand it. Right in the corner there. Oh man, November is coming up. Isn't that something? Well, guys, there you go. Oh, let's get rid of this for a second. I have them. I have an air fryer. I have a microwave, and well, we all already know coffee maker. Well, I know Sonia's going to be on later on this evening in a few hours. Yeah, well, this is it, guys. Hopefully, I've explained why I didn't really add highlights in the foreground, because this time I want the middle ground to be the showcase. So our foliage is actually framing the trees in the waterfall. You can get our little rays going on there. Okay. Got your mist now. See what I'm talking about when it's dry, where you use titanium white. Even if you add blue or whatever color to titanium white, you thin it off with water, you get all this going on in there. Okay, and then you're just building up on your mist with just brighter white. Okay, and then the final white, you just use the smallest bit, going circular motions, and you can obscure things with it. Okay, so it's a building process. And now you see also that your rocks or your cliff looks like a cliff. Okay, even though I took the side of the brush and added the blue gray into it, you still see all of that going on. Okay, so all of its texture, all of its shadow and shades that you build up to give and achieve the look that well, you can see the results to it. Not really a difficult painting to do. This would be something I teach in a class, and I think people would be really happy with. I mean, this green doesn't necessarily have to be the color of your choice. It can be gold, red, maroon, whatever color you choose for it. Okay, I just happened, once again, it's just extra paint I had left over, and then it came out to be this. All right. Okay, enough of my rambling. That's it. Thank you very much. I do appreciate you. Hey, how you doing, Mary? You came just in time for me to shut down. Great to see you, Mary. For those of you who aren't familiar with Mary, excellent artist, really entertaining tutorials every once in a while. She is on an art panel with Diana, Artfully Blind with Diana, Serenity Studios, and they'll be on camera doing art together and laughing and enjoying the banter and the chat. and the occasional happy dance. So it's fun to watch. So it's good to see you, Mary. Yes, you missed it, but you did come in time for me to do this. Bye. So I don't know if I'll write in when I'll be online. I used to have a night to do these, either live or pre-recorded. I don't know if I'll start that up again. Who knows? But yeah, when I pop on, it's usually impromptu. And I came out at a pretty decent time right now, instead of like starting at 10:30 at night. So, but we'll see. All right. Enjoy. Be safe. I'll see you when I see you.